understand you have concerns about our cargo.
Super 8 is remembered as a film that blends science fiction mystery with a deeply human coming-of-age story, capturing the feeling of childhood imagination colliding with something far bigger and more dangerous than anyone expects. Set in a quiet American town at the end of the 1970s, the movie creates an atmosphere of nostalgia from its opening moments, drawing the audience into a world of homemade movies, small-town friendships, and the innocent belief that adventure can be found just beyond the railroad tracks. What begins as a simple story about kids making a film slowly transforms into a tense and emotional exploration of fear, loss, and understanding the unknown. The story centers on a group of young friends who spend their summer days working on a low-budget zombie movie using a Super 8 camera. Filmmaking is not just a hobby for them, but an escape, a way to feel important and creative in a town where very little seems to change. Joe, the emotional heart of the group, is dealing with the loss of his mother, an event that has left him withdrawn and struggling to connect with his father. His best friend Charles is driven, ambitious, and obsessed with finishing the movie, believing it could be his ticket to recognition and escape from his ordinary life. Together with their friends, they represent the restless energy of youth, where dreams feel endless and the future seems just out of reach. Everything changes during a nighttime shoot near a train track, when a catastrophic derailment occurs right in front of them. The crash is loud, violent, and chaotic, instantly shifting the tone of the movie from playful nostalgia to genuine danger. Amid the explosions and wreckage, something escapes from one of the train cars, something the audience is not immediately shown. This moment becomes the turning point of the film, marking the end of childhood innocence and the beginning of a mystery that slowly takes over the town. In the aftermath of the crash, strange events begin to occur. Pets disappear, unexplained thefts increase, and people start going missing. The military arrives almost immediately, sealing off areas and acting with a level of urgency that suggests they know more than they are saying. Their presence introduces fear and suspicion, turning the familiar town into a place of tension and secrecy. Adults begin to panic, while the children sense that the truth is being hidden from them, motivating them to investigate on their own. Joe's emotional journey runs parallel to the external mystery. His strained relationship with his father reflects the film's deeper themes of grief and communication. Both are struggling with loss but are unable to express it in healthy ways. Joe's growing connection with Alice, a girl who joins their film project, adds another emotional layer. Alice comes from a complicated family background and carries her own sense of guilt and isolation. Their bond feels natural and sincere, grounded in shared vulnerability rather than dramatic romance. As the group reviews their Super 8 footage, they notice strange shapes and movements captured during the train crash. These hidden details give them clues that something alive is roaming the town. The idea that the truth is literally hidden in the frames of their movie reinforces the theme that children often see what adults overlook. Their investigation becomes a blend of curiosity and fear, driven by the need to understand what they accidentally uncovered. The creature at the center of the mystery is not presented as a simple monster. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that it was captured years earlier and held against its will, treated as an object rather than a living being. Its destructive behavior is rooted in fear and confusion, mirroring the emotional struggles of the human characters. This perspective shifts the film from a typical alien invasion story into something more thoughtful, asking the audience to consider empathy over aggression. The town's escalating chaos reaches a breaking point as the creature's presence becomes impossible to hide. Power outages, structural damage, and disappearances push the military toward extreme measures. The adults respond with force and fear, while the children, particularly Joe, begin to understand the emotional core of the situation. Joe realizes that the creature's pain is not so different from his own grief, creating a quiet but powerful parallel between human loss and alien suffering. The climax of the film combines action with emotional resolution. As the military prepares for a final confrontation, Joe faces both the creature and his own unresolved feelings. Instead of reacting with violence, he communicates through empathy, offering understanding rather than resistance. This moment reinforces the film's central message that fear can only be overcome by acknowledging pain and choosing compassion. The resolution brings closure not only to the sci-fi mystery but also to the personal stories of the characters. The creature is finally freed, and the town begins to heal from the damage it suffered. Joe and his father find a way to reconnect, accepting their shared grief and beginning the process of moving forward. The group of friends completes their movie, a symbol of creativity surviving even in the face of chaos. The cast plays a crucial role in grounding the film's emotional weight. The young actors deliver performances that feel authentic and natural, avoiding exaggerated stereotypes. Their interactions feel spontaneous, capturing the awkward humor and intensity of real friendships. The adult characters provide contrast, representing authority and control, but also emotional distance and fear. Together, the cast creates a believable world where extraordinary events feel personal and impactful. Visually, the film uses lighting and camera movement to enhance its nostalgic tone. Warm colors dominate scenes of childhood and creativity, while darker tones emerge as the mystery deepens. The use of the Super 8 footage within the movie adds an extra layer of realism, reminding viewers of a time when creativity required patience and imagination rather than instant results. This stylistic choice reinforces the theme of storytelling itself, celebrating the power of film as a way to preserve memories. The music and sound design support the emotional arc of the story, blending wonder with tension. Quiet moments are allowed to breathe, letting character emotions take center stage, while action sequences are intense without overwhelming the narrative. The balance between silence and spectacle helps maintain a sense of intimacy even during large-scale scenes. The trailer for Super 8 focused heavily on mystery and atmosphere, revealing very little about the creature itself. By emphasizing suspense, childhood adventure, and emotional stakes, it invited audiences to experience the story rather than simply watch an alien spectacle. This approach helps set expectations for a film that values character and emotion as much as thrills. In terms of release, the movie arrived during a period when science fiction was often dominated by large franchises and heavy visual effects. Super 8 stood out by feeling personal and self-contained, offering a complete story that did not rely on sequels or expanded universes. Its timing allowed it to feel both classic and modern, appealing to audiences who grew up with similar stories as well as younger viewers discovering them for the first time. Super 8 ultimately works because it understands that the most powerful stories are not about monsters or explosions, but about people. By framing its science fiction elements through the eyes of children dealing with loss, creativity, and change, the movie captures a sense of wonder that feels genuine rather than manufactured. It reminds viewers of a time when imagination was limitless and fear could be faced with courage and curiosity. The film's lasting impact comes from its emotional honesty. It does not rush to explain everything or rely solely on spectacle. Instead, it trusts the audience to connect with its characters and themes. Super 8 becomes a story about letting go of the past, accepting pain, and finding hope in understanding rather than fear. As the final frames roll, the audience is left with the feeling that they have witnessed not just an alien encounter, but a moment of growing up frozen in time, preserved like a memory on a strip of film.